Hi everybody, in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 ways to convert your L1 visa to a green card. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Michael Ashoori and I'm a US immigration lawyer based in Los Angeles, California. If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and subscribe to our channel because we're posting immigration videos weekly. Also, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, drop them in the comments below. I review the comments and I answer to them. So with that said, let's get started. As many of you know, the L1 visa is temporary. It's a non-immigrant visa and it's either capped at 5 years or 7 years, depending on if you're on an L1A or an L1B. L1A gets 7 years, L1B gets 5 years. Now the issue that most people face is that they're about to max out and they want to plan for a more secure future in the United States. They want to be here permanently, they want to get their green card, so that their children can go to school in the United States, so that they can permanently reside in the United States. This is a very common situation that people that are on an L1 visa face. So what are some options? Option number 1, a very common way to convert from L1 to green card is through EB1C. EB1C is very similar to L1 with a couple of key differences. So structurally, the idea of the EB1C is very much the same. It's for somebody who worked for a foreign company as an executive or a manager to transfer to a United States company as a manager or an executive. So in that sense, it's very similar. A couple of differences between L1 and EB1C is that the L1 allows for somebody to work for both the foreign company and the US company in a specialized knowledge capacity. For EB1C, specialized knowledge does not qualify. You have to have worked for the foreign company as a manager or executive, and you have to work for the United States company as either a manager or an executive. Another difference between L1 and EB1C is that with L1, the US company can be a relatively new company. It can be operational for less than a year. But for EB1C, the US company must have been operational for at least 1 year. But as you can see, because there are so many similarities between L1 and EB1C, it's a very common way for an L1 to come to the United States initially. So for somebody to come to the United States initially on an L1 and to convert to EB1C. Okay, so that's option number 1. Now let's move on to option number 2. And now we're going to talk about the employer-sponsored green card. So this is different than EB1C. This is either EB2 or EB3. This is more of a traditional employer-sponsored green card where your employer will show that it's an appropriate situation where the employer tried to hire a US worker but was unable to find a qualified and suitable US worker for the position. So now they want to seek authority from the Department of Labor to be able to sponsor a foreign worker for the position that they have available. That's either EB2 or EB3. Now, a couple of situations where you might be choosing, or you might be wondering, why should I choose EB2 or EB3 over EB1C? Well, one thing to consider is that if you have equity in the company, so if you're an owner of the company in the United States, you cannot do EB2 or EB3. You can't do that process. It has to be under EB1C. So EB1C would qualify if you're an equity holder, but EB2 or EB3 wouldn't. So that's one of the considerations to make. There's other considerations as well, but it's just important to know this idea of how the EB2 and the EB3 work. Okay, so that's option number 2. Now we're moving on to option number 3, which is EB2 National Interest Waiver. So if the services that you're providing in the United States rise to the level of being in the national interest, if the company that you're working for as a manager or an executive is some kind of a, cancer research facility, for example, and the work that you're doing in the United States can be classified to be in the national interest, then you may want to consider the possibility of seeking a national interest waiver under the EB2 visa category. And now that's option number 3. Now let's move on to option number 4. If you're extraordinary in your field that you're working in while you're on your L1 visa, and you've risen to the very top of your field, you may wish to consider an EB-1A self-petitioning visa option. Again, as I mentioned, this visa is limited to people that are at the very top of their field. It's not for everybody. You have to document that you've meet various criteria. There's a list of criteria that makes people eligible for EB-1A. Some of those criteria are evidence that you get paid a very high salary compared to others in your industry, evidence that you've won awards, evidence that you have publications authored about you, evidence that you've authored publications, evidence that people have cited to your work, for example, evidence that you've been the judge of others. So as you can see, there's a number of different criteria that you can show to show that you're a person of extraordinary ability. And that's EB-1A. And regarding EB-1A and the EB-2 NIW, the national interest waiver that I mentioned earlier, the benefits of these two options is that they're eligible for self-petition. That means that you can apply for them yourself without an employer sponsor. Okay, so what number are we on now? I think we've done options 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's talk about option number 5. Option number 5 is the EB-5 visa. This is a very specific visa for investors. Basically, the way it works is that you can invest in a US business, and based on that investment, you can qualify for a green card for you and your family. And specifically for you, your spouse, and your unmarried children under 21 years old. And the investment, depending on where the investment is located, is either $900,000 or $1.8 million. You also have to create 10 full-time jobs for US workers. That's the basics of EB-5. So those are all 5 options, and I'm actually gonna throw in a bonus 6th option. So many of you already know this, so it might go without saying, but another way that you can convert your L1 to a green card is if you get married to either a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. A real, legitimate, bona fide marriage to a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident is a basis for converting your L1 visa to a green card. So guys, that was 6 ways to convert your L1 visa to a green card. I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful. I know we went through the steps very quickly, so if you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them in the comments below. I review the comments regularly, and I would be happy to answer you. Also, again, if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you know anybody that could benefit from this video, please share it with them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.